Hey YouTube, it's Friday, August 3rd, 18, and it's been nothing but raining. We've had, this is our second week of rain. It rained every day this week or every night, and we're just having trouble getting stuff done because of being in the rain. Soon I'm going to put a tent up here. I have one of them pop-up tents, I got to put it up. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you how far we've managed to get here. This is the mortise that Carmine cut in there, and he did a pretty nice job on it. It's pretty good. I think you can see it there. And then he cut a tenon on this, and this is also pretty good. This is the first time I had him do it all by himself. When we built the catapult once, I showed him how to do this, to put some timbers together on an old-fashioned catapult, and he learned pretty quick. So that's what we have there. Now this big one here, the mast, needs another mortise in it, and then the jib here is gonna need a mortise in it. So I've cut the brace. This is a 6'6" brace here. If you look, I don't know if you can see this very well. I have the angle here, and then this is the part that's going to be the tenon. Now I'm probably going to leave it the full 8 inches wide, since I've taken wood off both sides, because most of what's going to take the weight here is probably out in here. Actually the whole thing I guess takes weight. So, but anyway, that's what's going to look like. So it's going to come across, we're going to have the tenon sticking out, and then we'll cut the rest of that off. At this end, and that's a 60-degree angle up there. At this end we have a 30-degree angle, which is going to fit into the 90. And this one gets cut across here. This is a mistake I made. Cut across here, up, back, and ends for this tenon. So he'll be cutting these and the two mortise just as soon as we either put up a tent or the rain stops. It's nothing but mud here. I mean, this is normally fairly dry. This is stone here, but the silt's been washing down the driveway, so it's hard to get anything done. The other day we had done a test on that mast. I think I might have shown a very small piece of it on the last video, but what you didn't get to see was what we had done was we set this log here, which I think that thing weighs 600 pounds if I'm not mistaken. It's 28 inches at one end here. So we put that on the end of the mast, as well as stuck the mast underneath this gray painted log here, and pried down on it on this, and wasn't even moving. That white oak is amazing. Even when you're cutting the tenon and stuff and the mortise out of it, I mean, it cuts nice with a chisel because it doesn't do like pine does. It doesn't flake off. So it's a lot easier to actually make a nicer cut with a chisel. But it's work. That stuff is tough. It's almost like trying to tear, you know, a piece of Kevlar. It's just unbelievable. So that's how far we are today. With the crane. I'm working on the design of the footing. There's a lot of numbers that I've put together over the past couple days. I'm trying to make, and this is only normal, I'm trying to make the smallest footing for the least cost that I can. It's going to be going in this area. So I'm working on that. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, because there's a lot of different things to consider with the crane. And some guys are getting parts of it right and other parts not. So it's really hard. You just can't take any one person's advice for what you want to do here. You need to really figure this out. And I've done a lot of figuring on it. So I'll let you know what I'm going to do with that concrete. But the way things are going here, if it doesn't stop raining soon, we're going to be all messed up here, because this water soaks into the ground where I live. This ground is a sandy clay. So it holds water, and then all of a sudden it just vanishes. I mean, it sinks through the sandy part of the clay. So it'll get the water table the water tends to stay about 2 to 3 feet below the ground at times. Anyway, that's where we're at so far. The kiln's still cranking over there, but like I say, that's about it. We have a pretty good pile of logs to cut. I got to get more, especially if I'm going to be cutting through the winter. Carmine probably only has 2 more weeks here, or actually less than 2 weeks before he has to go back to school. And I want to have him help me get a couple more logs over here yet, so I have a bunch of stuff to cut. So that's about it for today. I hope you guys are having a good day. If you want rain, I hope you get it. If you don't want rain, I hope it stops. But other than that, even poor Bullseye over there doesn't know what to do with himself. And that's about how I feel. Alright guys, have a good one. So it's still very wet, but at least it's not raining. So I started cutting this tenon here. This is coming off the 30-degree angle that's going to be near the bottom of the mast. So just working on this. We got to cut the other end as well. Just thought I'd show you this so you can see what it looks like. Guys, a lot of people that respond to my videos are giving me a lot of ideas for different things, and I appreciate all of that. I like the comments very much. The thing is that this channel is all about doing things with what you have. And you'll find me not too quick to go buy stuff. I usually fix things with what I have on hand. And now, it's got to be a reasonable thing. Like if I'm doing body work, I'm not going to put masking tape on it. I'm going to use steel. And that reminds me, just show you some stuff we've been doing since it's been raining so hard. I'm trying to hang on to this Blazer for as long as I can because I just don't want to have to buy another car to come up and down this road. And you can see there's 2 big holes in here for rust. What happened was somebody just hit her recently, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago when she was on a little trip, and knocked the heck out of that fender, but probably was rusted underneath anyway. But anyhow, so I made a part for that. Like I say, because of all the rain. I know you are here for the woodmizer mostly, but I'm just showing you this. So this is a fender part that I hammered out to fit that. Now, you can buy these parts, there's no doubt about that. But it's one thing to buy it, it's another thing to learn how to make it. Once you learn how to make it, you can always make them, okay? Once you buy them, you might not be able to buy another one if you don't have money. So what I try to do is, it's not a money issue with me, it's a can-do issue. So I try to do as much as I can to be able to make things work. So I'll be cutting that other piece out of there and putting this panel in just as soon as it stops raining, because I want to work outside to do that. I really like working outside. But anyway, I thought you'd like to see where we are with this thing. So this is going to take a little longer than, well, maybe not. It might take a little longer than the other ones he cut out. Although these are a lot easier. The tenons are easy because you have the chisel outside the work. When you do a mortise, sometimes the chisel can barely get inside the work, especially with the type of chisels that we have, because I'm not into timber framing, but there's sometimes you have to do something to make a joint or two, and a mortise joint is a good joint for this. Well guys, you can see I got that notch on the side of the tenon taken out. What was good here is that I was able to bevel my saw and take a cut here. I couldn't cut this angle with the saw, but I cut a part of it, and then the rest of it I chiseled out. It's a little high. If you look right across there, you can see it's not. This edge is straight here, it's good, but the rest of it's a little bit high, so we have to chip that out just to get it to where it ought to be. I might grab my cut-off saw, my reciprocating saw, and see if I can't cut a large part of this off of here. It makes it a lot easier, that's for sure. But I do enjoy doing this. It gives you time to think while you're fooling around with this thing.
See, Grandpa's making a siding jig for a subscriber who ordered one.
Okay, so there's our finished bevel siding jigs. Up is to cut the bevel, down is to cut the flat. So you put both of them up. The weight of the wood will hold this up. Yeah, both of them are up when you're cutting a bevel, and both of them are down when you're cutting a flat cut. So you alternate, you know, flat and down to make your cuts.
Spraying them with primer. These three are done. He's spraying the last one right there. Now these are going to take the 2 coats. It's going to be the primer, and then we're going to paint it the orange of the woodmizer. Alright guys, so the primer is dry, so now you can see he's spraying out the orange. I'm cleaning up still and he's spraying this.